Hello, welcome to Healing with podcast. I am Marissa McDevitt, your host, mindset coach, mentor, and founder of Healing Center. Tired of all the BS? So was I. This podcast is my raw, unfiltered take on life, sharing my personal experiences, lessons, and healing practices that helped me break free from the cycles that no longer serve me. I'm just an average woman who decided to stop settling and start speaking up. Here we dive deep into the messy, beautiful, and sometimes painful realities of life, business, and relationships. No fluff, no judgment, just real talk, real growth, and real transformation. This is a safe space for anyone, women, men, and all the beauties in between. So who's ready to raise their standards, heal, and step into their power? Let's learn, grow, and evolve together. Now tune in and let's talk about it. Hello and welcome back, y'all. Okay, so we're going to jump right into this. 111 has showed up twice today. And if you don't know what 111 means, it is an angel number, and it is for manifestation and spiritual alignment. And I feel that deeply. Angel numbers have been so important to me because they were so significant in my life for a long time. And I started second guessing them because I'm like, well, obviously, like, angel numbers must happen all the time for everyone. Because it was literally on everything. Clocks, license plates, receipts, everything. And it wasn't just 111. It was, 222, 333, 4499, whatever, okay? 111 came back twice today. I haven't seen angel numbers in weeks. So much that I was like, oh my gosh, am I not in alignment? So it's real. So anyways, just confirmation. I started this episode and it hit 111. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Right when I got to my destination today, it was 111, and yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So that's the energy of today. No, this episode is not about angel numbers. Pretty sure I have one. If not, I'll make one. But here we go. I'm doing another shout out because people are listening in different countries, and that makes my heart beyond happy. So again, we're shouting out, of course, the United States, all the way up to Alaska, my people in Alaska. We have Spain, whoever's listening in Spain. Thank you. You are the top other country besides the United States that's listening to my podcast. What's up, Spain? Tell me where exactly you're from in Spain. We got Germany, Canada, France, Hong Kong, Australia, and Italy. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Please comment exactly where you're at. We are going to talk about burn spells. Yes, you heard me right. The witchy stuff, the fun, witchy stuff I like to call it. Have you ever asked the universe for change and then your life started to fall apart? Yeah, that might not be bad luck. That might be alignment, or what I like to call realignment. This episode is about full moon rituals, burn spells, and intention setting, but in a grounded, intentional way. This isn't about control. It's about release, awareness, and alignment. So full moons equal release energy. That is what the full moon brings in. So letting go of what no longer aligns to you and your highest potential. And of course, the emotional intensity of a full moon is very normal. So it's time to clear space intentionally and externally. I've been doing full moon rituals for, years now. I can't even remember how many years. I'll walk you through my process on how I do my full moon ceremonies. Everybody's different. I'm sure there's other ways than mine. I am just going off my experience and how it works for me and how I've learned and how I integrate it in my life. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's wrong. So whatever floats your boat, great. And then we're going to talk about how you need to be careful for what you wish for, because these do work. And I mean, it works sometimes immediately in the ways that you would not expect. And I'm going to give you all of the examples. So my personal process, I start preparing for the full moon a few days before the full moon, or if sometimes I don't know what's coming because I'm not like an astrologer. I'm not an astrologer. However, I do work with the moon a lot and the sun. Twitches. Me and my sister, that's been our nickname since we were kids, pretty much. We came up with it as adults, but we used to watch the movie Twitches. I don't know if it's a Disney movie. It's a witch movie. It's about twin witches. And one of them wears a sun and one of them wears a moon. And my sister has always been a night owl. And I've always been a morning person. But on top of that, like, I've always been a lizard in the sun. I love sun gazing. I love being in the sun. I can handle the heat. She cannot. She literally has where she faints in the sun if she gets too hot. She gets overheated a lot. She can't take the heat of the sun. Even though she loves the sun and she would love to, her body literally cannot handle it. So she's the moon and I am the sun, and we are Twitches. A little off topic, but it goes along with the witches and the Twitches and the moon and the sun, okay? So you need to set your space. This is so important with any kind of healing work that you're doing, any kind of ritual work, ceremonial work. You always need to set your space. What does that mean? Clear your energy with a chakra bell. Clear your energy with some Palo Santo. Clear your energy with some sage. All right? Clear your energy with meditation. Put some crystals around you if you have to. Hold on to a crystal. Whatever you got to do. Set your space. I personally always use Palo Santo. I use sage sometimes. More Palo Santo now. I use incense, ritual incense. And I energetically set my space as well, along with using crystals. I mean, I use it all because I like to. Do you need it all? No. Does some work and some don't? I don't know and I don't care, but it works for me. So that's just what I do. I set my space. I cleanse the energy. I protect myself with this aura of gold and cocoon, light. Okay? My space is sacred. Your space is sacred. I will go through a meditation with myself. Sometimes I put on a guided meditation. You can even look one up, full moon guided meditation or releasing guided meditation to help bring up what you want to release at this time. I connect to my breath. Even if it's 3 short breaths, but deep. Breathe in 3. Hold for 3. A loud exhale for 3. Even if you just do that 3 times, okay? Connecting to your breath is intention, sacred, creating the space. And then I write it out, baby. You're going to write it out. And you can just use any piece of paper. I actually have ritual burn paper, which I didn't even know if they make, but I picked it up in Bisbee, Arizona at this total witch store, and I totally met a real herbalist witch. She's so cool. She's so powerful. I have all of her. Actually, I should shout her out. 1 second. I'm shouting out this lady I met in Bisbee, Arizona. This is handcrafted ritual incense. This is the blue moon. So she made this ritual incense during a blue moon. This one says pivot, portal, timing, and change. So this is what I use for like portal energy. This one is align, cleanse, elevate, and deepen. Ooh, this was made in the harvest full moon. And this one is gold, manifest, prosperity, and magnet. So I do this for my abundance rituals. Okay, so now you know I have my burn incense. $58. That's $60. $60. This is almost $200 worth of incense. We did not know that when we bought it, okay? My husband was just so mesmerized by this lady because she was actually so powerful, and she made everything herself. Anyways, long story short, hold on. Let's go back to her thing. Her company is Wolf Bone Emporium. Wolf Bone Emporium. Hopefully she has a website online. I don't know. I'll have to look it up and add it to the notes. But this is what the burn paper looks like. She makes these too. She makes everything. I don't know how much this paper was. Probably $100. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't expensive. I mean, it was expensive, but honestly, I've had these. You just need a tiny bit. I've had all 3 of these for a year and a half, and I've only used this much. Now, granted, I usually only do it on a full moon, or I do it during portal times, and you only need a tiny bit. Literally a tiny bit. So if you think about it, 180 will last you 2 to 3 years. If you use it constantly or a lot, which I don't know why you would, but if you use it a lot, then I would say a year or 2. So it's worth it, in my opinion. I love this stuff. It's real stuff. She handcrafts it. She handpicks it. She does everything. She blesses it. She does her witchy thing she does. After you meditate and you set your intentions and you're writing out on the piece of paper everything you want to release. Whether it's limiting beliefs, toxic patterns, relationships, or fears. You have to be honest. You have to be raw with no filter. For example, I used to say almost every single burn spell last year into this year, I release any relationship, friendship, or partnership that is no longer aligned with my higher self. I release any friendships or relationships that have ill intentions towards me, that are liars and deceivers and not of their true self. You think that sounds good on paper, because it does, because you don't want those type of people. But woo-wee, does it work? We'll get into that next. Okay, now you've meditated. Now you got your release, what you want to release. For me personally, after I write my release, it's sometimes it's very emotional for me because it's a lot of stuff I don't want to look at within myself. It's stuff that I know that needs to go, but I don't really want to go because it's uncomfortable. So sometimes I actually cry when I write these, or it's not the best feeling writing them out, is what I'm saying, because you're very uncomfortable. You're talking about all the things that you need to release, and usually that's not the good stuff. Okay, you don't want to release the good stuff. You want to keep the good stuff. You want to release the bad stuff. Okay. I like to ground myself again. And then I like to call in on a different piece of paper. Sometimes I use the same one, front side and back side, and I burn it both. But recently I've been using the one paper for release to burn, and then keeping my what I want to call in with me. And I'll get to that here in a second. Then I like to do the fun part. And that's when I like to call in what I want. I want to write my book. That's what I'm doing right now. I want my book to sell. I want my podcast to be listened to all over the world, in every single country. Okay, that's my goal. Every single country. You hear that? So the people in Spain, the people in Hong Kong, send them to your other friends. All right. Help this podcast go viral. Help this podcast travel all over the world. Okay, that is one of my manifestations. So now you got all of that. All right. So you take your burn paper, and you go outside, and we got the jets flying right over. I live close to the Air Force Base in Arizona. It's called Luke Air Force Base. So these jets, they practicing all the time, especially now that all the craziness is going on. And they fly over my house, and I mean like right over my house. So they're pretty loud sometimes. So that's the first round. So there's probably going to be a few more, because it usually is like 3 or 4 sets of them. You go outside. I have a sacred area in my backyard that I do my spells. I usually post them on my Instagram story or my Facebook story. So if you're not following me at Marissa McDevitt or at MM Healing Center, please go do it. I will post my pink full moon ritual and ceremony on all my platforms this time, so you can actually see exactly how I do it, step by step, in real time. Okay. I go outside. I set my space. I bring my crystals. I have my incense, whatever one I'm choosing to use. I have my burn spell. I go outside. I set my space, and I sit and I call and I again. I don't. Yeah, sometimes I Palo Santo again to clear the space of my area that I'm doing my ceremony. Then I sit and I call in my ancestors, and I call in my higher self, and I call in my spirit guides and everybody who is aligned to my higher self. Please come down and join me for the ceremony of releasing what I need to release and what I need to call in. So then I read it out loud 3 times, what I'm releasing. Under this full moon, April 1st, pink full moon in Libra, I am releasing boom, 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 boom. And I do that 3 times. I'm letting go. This is the act of letting go. Once you do that, I take my lighter in my, usually it's like a conch, an Albany shell. Albany shell. You know where you burn the sage in? I don't know exactly what they're called, okay? I just have them. It's a burn safe shell, or I have a burn safe dish, like an incense dish that I use for offerings when I'm offering all the things. I take my paper, I fold it up, boom, put it in and light it up, okay? Light it up. And when I light it up, I'm going to imagine everything that I'm releasing flowing up into the universe and away. Flowing out and into the universe and away. And for this pink full moon, I'm going to imagine this pink energy moving through my whole body and taking everything I need to release and releasing it with this full moon in this pink energy. And once I do that, I thank my guides. Thank you for being here. And now what I would like to call in. And then I have my piece of paper that I want to call in. Now that I've released everything, now I want to call in this. And I do the same thing. I read it. Boom, 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 boom. 3 times. I'm calling in this. And I say it with just the best energy because it's already happening. Right? I say it with the best energy if it's already done. All right? Because I am doing the work. I'm taking the action. Everything that I put on that piece of paper, what I want to call in, I must take action to make that happen. And I'm a very dedicated person, so I like to do that. Especially like, for example, my book that I'm writing, my podcast that I started, all the things. Once I have read that 3 times, I thank all my guides. I thank spirit guides. I thank my higher self for allowing me to perform the ceremony under the love and light of the universe. Then what I do is I take that piece of paper that I'm calling everything in, I put it in an envelope, and I put it under my pillow. Or I just sleep with it under my pillow. And I do that for like 3 or 7 days. Do you have to do that? No. And then I store it. I store it in a spiritual container that I have. And then, a year later or whatnot, I revisit them and see what actions I took to have the manifestations come to life. So wow, right? It sounds so much fun. But here we go. The truth no one talks about. So you need to be careful what you ask to release because it will leave. For example, there was a full moon and I called in, I want to release all friendships and relationships that no longer align with my higher self. And I wrote it on the paper and I remember. And I did my whole spell. And the next day, there was a huge episode, emotional episode with the friends I was staying with. And they went from being my best friend the day before, and I cannot make this up, to literally the next day, they did a complete 360 from like, we're all friends, to the next day, complete cuckoo to the new. Emotional basket cases. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And I had to pull back and put them on the block party list, and we never have talked again. No, it was a lot of them projecting all of their own emotions, all of their own bullshit onto me, and then blaming me for it. And that has happened multiple times with my friendships that are no longer friendships. So you have to be careful of what you ask for. Am I happy that it happened? Yes. Is it difficult? Yes. They were actually my friends, so I thought. But the universe will clear out the trash. The universe will clear out what no longer is in alignment to you. And if you understand that, then you say, oh, you had to go anyways. You're actually not even true. You're not even true to your own self, let alone how you're going to be true in a friendship. Right? Or get this one. There was a full moon and I did this. Actually, I did an abundance ritual and I lit an abundance candle for the first time. And it's funny because even this was in Bisbee too. Even the lady who sold me the candle, she said, be careful what you wish for. Things will happen in ways that you didn't expect. And I was like, what does that even mean? Whatever. Yeah. I was all excited. I did like a 7-day or 10-day abundance portal ritual, and I lit the candle on the last day. I was ready to call in all this money, do all these things, and boom, my dream job that I had at the horse ranch ended a few days later. So much to where I had tractors on the property. I was working on this horse ranch and I was building a Reiki shed because I was going to incorporate holistic healing and the horses and kids and programs, and everything I dreamed of doing was happening. We had tractors on the property. We had workers on the property building. The owner, out of nowhere, had the most emotional outburst of chaos within himself and projected it all onto me and to my father and to my fiance who were helping build this project right in the middle of it. Right when it was all supposed to happen. So much of it that we said, we all pulled back and we're like, wait a minute, you can't start a business with this guy. He's clearly hiding something because he's so upset about nothing and screaming it at us out of nowhere. And 2, he can't even communicate his feelings, thoughts, or process emotion enough to run a business with him. So that exact moment, we pulled everything off the job site. We cleaned up better than it looked before. I packed up everything in my office. I got in my truck. My dad and fiance left with the tractor and everything. And I cried the whole way to my house. And I thought, oh my God, did I just make the worst mistake? Did I just make a mistake? Did I do something wrong? What's going on? But my knowing inside said, fuck that. Pack your shit up and get the fuck out. This is not it. This is not it. Pack your fucking shit up and get out. And so that's what I did. And I didn't understand at first. I didn't understand. I was so heartbroken. I was so heartbroken because I had such a vision for where everything was going to go. Everything was aligned up until we were building it. I got tons of free wood, tons of free material. I mean, everything was there. And within seconds, done. Same with my past friendships. After a full moon ceremony, they were totally my best friends. Totally friends. We were totally getting along. And then the next day, boom, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Complete 360. Like, who are you? And why are you guys acting like that? You gotta go. Because, they're, insane. But here's the cool part. After I got home, after crying the whole way home, it led me to building this podcast. It literally led me to create my podcast. My dad sat there with me for the next few days. my microphone. He bought me my microphone and he helped me set up my computer. I started my podcast. So one door closes, another one opens. But why did that happen? And why did it happen so fast? Because I did the ritual. I did the ceremony. I called in abundance in my highest timeline, and partnering up with someone who can't handle emotions and was lying about finances is not in alignment to my highest potential. Having friends who are not even true to themselves, let alone in a friendship, that is not aligned to my highest potential. What I call in are people who are true to themselves. What I call in are people who take action and accountability within their own lives. Yes, we're human. We're going to fuck up. Nobody's perfect. I'm far from it. Hence why I made this podcast. I talk about all my fuck ups all the time. That is life. But I learn from them. I take accountability for them. And I said, hey, here's where I messed up. Boom, boom, boom. This is what I did. Boom, boom, boom. Don't do what I did. Amen. Hallelujah. So release doesn't always feel peaceful. Sometimes it feels like chaos. But again, it's not falling apart. Your life is not falling apart. It's actually clearing out the trash. It's clearing out the bullshit. Misaligned people will leave. Unstable situations will collapse right in front of you, and you're like, what the is going on? And the truth gets revealed no matter what. So you asked for alignment, but that alignment requires removal first. You have to remove all the bullshit to call in your manifestations, to call in the abundance timeline in life that you actually want. So the pink full moon in Libra. Libra equals relationships, balance, harmony, and self-worth. But the cool thing is the full moon is in Libra, but the sun is in Aries, which is action, identity, and independence. So this full moon is asking you to look at your relationships and choose alignment over attachment. Why this full moon to me is so special is because, one, I'm a Libra. Yes, I am. Balance, the justice card. I am a Libra. This pink moon is in Libra. It's like my moon. Okay. My grandma, her birthday is April 1st. This pink moon is on April 1st. For everyone who doesn't know, my grandma has passed away, but she is one of my strongest spiritual guides. Oh, and here comes a monarch butterfly right when I said that. She's one of my strongest spiritual guides. She's visited me in Hummingbird Fork multiple times. She is one of my top guides on the other side, helping shift frequency, helping shift things in and out, moving things, helping, guiding me. Okay? Another cool thing, my dad is also an Aries. All right? My grandma's birthday is April 1st. My dad's birthday is April 3rd. Okay. Well, guess what? My dad is coming to town. I pick him up tomorrow. We're going to Sedona together. Sedona, wow. Sedona is known for powerful energy and spiritual retreats. People go there for healing, reflection, and transformation. So Sedona is a place where people feel deeply connected and transformed. Meaning, Sedona is the heart chakra of the world. All right, Google it. Not only that, the Native Americans, they go to Sedona for ceremony and healing, and then they leave. They actually do not live there because the energy in Sedona is so powerful. It is the most magical, beautiful place I have witnessed in a very long time, one of them. And I am so lucky to live only an hour and 45 minutes from it. But my father is coming to Arizona for a week, and we are starting off with going to Sedona to do a 2-hour sound healing together. First off, it's me and my dad's first time in Sedona, Arizona together. We've never been there together. It's our first sound healing together. It's a 2-hour sound healing with 4 different healers and shamans. It's my grandma's birthday. Like, to be in this type of ceremony and healing with my dad in the full moon of Libra, which is all about relationships and connections, which is my father And he's my best friend, besides my fiance. So it's like, this is going to be a powerful healing. And I'm really excited to record before and after the Sedona trip. So how can you prepare for this full moon? 1, journal. This is what you need to journal. What am I ready to release? What is no longer aligned with me? Reflect. Where am I out of balance? And then ask, what am I calling into my life? Full moon rituals don't change your life overnight. They reveal what's already ready to change. Ooh. And if you're someone who is doing this deeper work, releasing, growing, evolving, and you're realizing there's more beneath the surface, this is exactly the work I guide people through. Inside my coaching containers, we do emotional healing, pattern breaking, nervous system work, conscious alignment, real life integrations. I'm going to put the link in the show notes for you to apply. And you don't have to navigate your healing alone. We can do this together. And the closing affirmation I want to end on is, I release what no longer aligns with my highest self. I trust what is leaving my life is creating space for something greater. I am safe in transformation. I am open to receive. And I trust the timing of my life. And with much love, have a beautiful day.